Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Lots of panic in the air today, and you know what? As far as I'm concerned, you love to see it, because when you get to the point where there's a dip and nobody cares, there's just this inappropriate, undeserved confidence. Oh, yeah, it went down, but it's just going to go straight on back up. And that's what the masses think. Typically, when you've hit that moment, maybe then you do got an actual problem. But that's not where we're at right now. In all likelihood, though, it certainly is very possible that we could be seeing further dramatic moves to the downside. I follow tons of analysts on a regular basis. And in terms of what's going to happen in the short term, a lot of analysts feel kind of split on the higher time frame. Nothing's really changed. But in the short term, and this is what you should be aware of so that if this does happen, you don't lose your ever-loving mind. But there are a couple analysts I'll highlight in this video. There's more than just a couple that think this, but there are a couple that I'll highlight in this video that are warning it's possible that Bitcoin could trip all the way down to maybe around $52,000. Now, if that happens, which is not guaranteed, but if it does, you can imagine what that's going to mean for all of the altcoins. Pure chaos and devastation. Now, if that happens, I think that it'll be one of those moments for me personally where it's like, yeah, twist my arm. Okay, I'll buy a bunch of stuff. Back up the truck. I don't have a truck, but back up the truck. I'm going on a shopping spree. That would probably entice me. I want to see this. Now, I'm not going to be buying Bitcoin, of course. So it would depend on the severity of the decrease for the altcoins. But I have a suspicion that if that happens, I'd probably be pretty enticed. But, today, XRP, all things considered, yeah, it's down with the rest of the market. But, if you look at XRP priced against Bitcoin, it's actually hanging pretty well, including if you look all the way back to, I believe it was April 13th, when XRP hit its cycle low against Bitcoin. Just think about that. It's only been a couple weeks or so since XRP hit its cycle low against Bitcoin. And there's no guarantee that it can't go lower. I don't pretend to know where the bottom is. But I have confidence that there will be one, even though I cannot magically tell you when. Maybe it's already in. Maybe the 13th of this month, maybe that was it. But my bet is that if this isn't it, there will be one. But at least to this point, it's been moving to the upside. And today on the whole, it's just been trending that direction as well. Multiple chart analysts talking about XRP priced against Bitcoin, and I'd say for good reason. But before sharing additional thoughts, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this latest Moon Lambo hot jam amidst utter devastation, at least some people are emotionally in tatters. I don't know if that's most people yet. But at the time of recording this, it is 6:29 p.m. Central Time, which is my time zone, Tuesday, April 30th, 2024. XRP, 50 cents, Bitcoin at $60,683. But it was a little bit worse than that earlier today. XRP got as low as 49 cents. Bitcoin as low as $59,354. So you can see why some people starting to get a little squeamish. $60,000 is an important level to hold if in the short term we're going to be moving to the upside. If it does not hold, as we'll get to in just a second here, might be looking pretty bad. Here we have the Crypto Fear and Greed Index at 67 out of 100. It only updates once every 24 hours, and it doesn't update for another 29 minutes. So I'll be very curious to see where this is when it updates again. Suffice it to say, I'm going to guess a bit lower than 67. So we're in greed now. Maybe we'll still be hanging out in greed, maybe not, but lower. I just want to share this again real quick because this kind of sums up my attitude on days like this. Do you guys remember what April 13th looked like? The whole market was down, including XRP, and so I took a screen grab of XRP at 45 cents, and in all caps, I wrote on social media platform X, "Leave nothing but ashes." And of course, the great thing about that post is I noted below, you can see if you're looking at the screen, people who love XRP will like that, and people who hate XRP will also like it, because it sounds negative on the surface, but obviously, if you know me, I'm just laughing, having a good time. It's my largest individual holding. It's not going to zero. I don't believe that for a moment. I believe it will hit a new all-time high at some unknown point in the future and into price discovery. But on days like this, it's just, do you know why you're here? Because if days like this, emotionally challenge you, I mean, it is normal. You don't feel like you're bad or stupid or anything like that. But, it's an opportunity to maybe grow because if you live through it long enough, that obviously goes a long way in helping, but just let the logic come through. Let your beliefs come through. And maybe you don't have sound beliefs in terms of crypto, in which case maybe you're freaking out and that makes sense. But if you do have conviction that the entire crypto asset class gets bigger as the years pass on the whole, even though there can be multiple years where it's down and there's bear markets and all that, if you have that conviction, then what the hell does it matter if in the short term it goes down? It just doesn't matter. And so me having been here since 2017, I've said the story many times, like the first few years, I was mostly down on stuff. I jumped in 2017, right before the peak of that bull market. And then I just accumulated. But most of the time I was in crypto, including XRP, I was at roughly break even or down. And now that I've been here, and this is the third bull market that we're going through now for me personally, I'm way up. And so you could sit there and freak out about it, or you can just recognize, hey, there's 15 years worth of data says this thing's going to the upside. What are we actually worried about? And so if you have sufficient exposure to the asset class and a long time horizon, like what are we actually worried about here? I mean, if you feel like you have to get it right now, then okay, but then I'd say, be an adult and don't look at it like that, because we don't control when it happens. If that's your expectation, I can understand why you're having a hard time. Patience is required, not optional here. Here's a post from the blockchain backer on April 11th. And so, mind you, this is just a couple days before the market started tanking, and he pretty well called it. So check this out. He said, market seems like it wants to kill sentiment for a month. First, reduce volatility and cold turkey withdraw the dopamine from memes. Then, capitulate. A chance to spend the next few weeks researching where the trends are happening if the opportunity comes. And so at least at this point, it's been pretty clearly the case that the last few weeks in particular, not the best for the emotionally, emotionally, the fragile people out there. And so then he reposted that this morning, and he wrote, "How's sentiment out there? Let's turn this baby around." And so he does seem very optimistic that what we're going to be seeing is a massive move to the upside. And so this chart from April 11th, the one on the top here, it's crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. And he just kind of squiggled what he thought it might look like from that point in time, down, 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 and then massive move to the upside and then breaks away. So we'll see if that ultimately does come to pass. But you get these moments in bull markets where there are big pullbacks of over 20%, frequently over 30%. And so in this case, I think we did finally get below that 20% mark, but okay. So, pretty normal here. Here's a post from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and this is a Bitcoin USD chart. He wrote, "Our higher time frame range lows have officially been taken, but we are seeing zero follow-through thus far. Remember, we likely have significant directional shorts built up on the way down as well as long, so if we don't see some bearish momentum here soon, decent chance we are going to squeeze right back up. Don't panic here. Things can change very, very quickly." Here's a post from chart analyst Altcoin Sherpa. Now, this one is fascinating. So, because I lived through this, but it's like ancient times now, and these numbers seem fake. They're so low, right? This is 6 years ago. This chart shows the end of 2017, and this is a Bitcoin USD chart, and then runs out through the end of 2018 into January 2019. And so if you're at a point where you can look at your screen for fun, you might enjoy this because these numbers just seem fake. But they were, if you were here back then, I mean, you know, but I mean, when you compare the price of Bitcoin at its low in 2018 to $60,000, maybe you can see why I'm totally chill about this stuff. And so, yes, I went through the first few years where I was mostly down or at break even, but I held since then. I've got Bitcoin that I spent a few thousands. I mean, it was a few $1,000s at the time when I was purchasing this stuff. The first time I ever bought Bitcoin was like $6,500, and I just hold because I'm stubborn as hell. And then when I'm sufficiently enticed, I'll sell one day. But I've just been holding. So now we're seeing, a crash down to $59,000 today. I'm sorry. And so this is what happens if you hold, if this, I'm not telling you to do this or not do this, but for people that hold, as years pass, similar results conceptually, right? And so anyway, he said, today's Bitcoin post will be on support weakening every time it is touched. I like to use the analogy of a dropped ball. The first time you drop it, it has the best bounce off the ground. Then weaker and weaker bounces after. The classic example of this is Bitcoin at the unbreakable $6,000 level. So look at what happened in 2018. I lived through this bear market. I was dollar cost averaging into stuff throughout that, not the entire year. For the first half of it, I was waiting for major capitulation to occur. But then when it seemed pretty low, I did get to a point where I was like, okay. And it might have been like the summer of 2018. And I was like, well, I don't know where the bottom is. I'm going to start buying. So that's what I did. But you can see each time it went it went down and then it bounced and down about right off that $6,000 level. Well, roughly anyway. But finally broke on through it. And Bitcoin did bottom, I think, around $3,200. I believe the actual bottom, I believe, was December 14th, 2018. Or December 15th. Either way, it was one of those 2 days. But anyway, it was the end of the world, right? Well, no. I mean, I held through all that, and now it's $60,000. So God forbid it goes down to 52. Do you see why it's easy? You just have to have your mind right. I can't tell you what's right or wrong for you, but I can try and help you to understand why it doesn't make sense to have the emotional responses. And again, you're not weak or bad or stupid. If you are having those responses, you're normal. I'm the weirdo, if anything. But it is better to not feel that stuff, to be able to go through this stuff and then not feel those things. But if you're newer to crypto, you've only been here like even a couple years, I can understand why you're having a hard time, because when you're at a point where you're at roughly break even, or if you're down on stuff, I get it. But that's why if you have a long-term approach like I do, like, okay, show me what's it going to do to me? The trend is up anyway. Even if this were the top of the market, you know what I'd do? Nothing. I would hold until the next bull market if this were actually the top. And I don't believe it is. I think there's about no chance of that. But even if that were to pass, we're all caught off guard. Okay, well, that was the top. That's weird. Okay, see you in a few years. I mean, I'll still hang out and run this channel, but see you in a few years. Because there will be another one, however long it takes. But check this out. And this is a warning here. Don't know if it's going to come to pass, but it's from Altcoin Sherpa. He says, man, $52,000 for Bitcoin really has so much confluence. 200-day EMA, 382 fib on the entire move. Demand area / support. Hard to unsee it. And this is a Bitcoin USD chart. So he's just warning. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we could see further moves to the downside, and that would be a massive shakeout. But if that happens, let me bring up this other post again. This is Bitcoin in 2018. Conceptually similar, right? Now, I know that was a bear market, but still, it seems like the end of the world, right? Going from $6,000 to $3,200 in 0 seconds flat. Okay, well, if we see that type of move here, I mean, while I'd argue not as devastating, still, it's going to feel that way to all sorts of people. But that creates opportunity also. Now, here's a post from the Nidran Tropic account, and it's run by the co-founders of Glassnode. I'm a huge fan of Glassnode on-chain analytics firm, and the post starts out sounding pretty positive, but they're warning about $52,000 also, so I thought I'd just highlight that. Glassnode people do fantastic work. And so this is a Bitcoin USD chart, and they wrote the following, and this is from this morning. Navigating Bitcoin's recovery, support levels and sentiment. Bitcoin experienced a significant weekend correction, but signs of recovery are emerging. The 50-day EMA stands as potential support, while the $60,000 level seems like a robust bottom for the current consolidation range, extending up to $74,000. With the market favoring a buy on the dip approach, bullish sentiment persists. However, a breach of the $60,000 support may lead to further stability at the $52,000 level, historically attracting buyers and reinforcing the uptrend. And so I'm just noting, and there are more examples of this, but these are 2 examples I just highlighted of separate people coming to this conclusion where, hey, if it does go, this $52,000 is a level to watch. So I'm just warning you, not saying it's going to happen. Just get your mind right in case, because when it comes to investing in crypto, we as humans are our own worst enemies. We are the ones that ruin the opportunity for ourselves. If we could just keep our stupid hands off the buy and sell button after, well, specifically after stuff drops, if we can keep our hands off the sell button, data shows that we're probably going to be fine. It's the people that have the long-term mindset that don't get in and out of positions and they don't respond to emotions. Those are the ones that make it. Here's a post, and this is funny. This is another instance where I'll just encourage you to look at the screen if you can. It made me laugh. There's a post from Charting Guy, and he shared this picture, and he wrote, "You're selling alts when Bitcoin dominance is in the topping process, preluding alt season? Not gonna make it." And yeah, that's true. People that are of that mindset, I think that they're probably not going to make it. But he shared this picture of it looks like a scout, and he's got like a ridiculous number of badges on like 3 different sashes. And it says, "When you first discover altcoins." And I was like, yes! Truth. That is real life. Yes, each one of those is an altcoin. That's right. Here's a post, another one from Charting Guy wrote, here, I'll make this big full screen. He said, "Pain in markets leads to euphoria. Back and forth." Folks, doesn't that sound like what I say? Like, you can word it a number of different ways, obviously, but when we're in extreme greed, I celebrate and I have fun with it. And I just note that, just so you know, at some point in the future, we're going to be in extreme fear. And then, as we've been in extreme fear, and just including in 2022, what was I saying? I said, guys, I don't know when it's going to happen, but at some point, we're going to be back into extreme greed, just so you know, it's going to be fine. And wouldn't you know it? Because the damn thing teeter-totters back and forth while trending upwards. That's what happens with the market. We shouldn't be surprised that the market is continuing to expand. We should, over time, with massive pullbacks, yeah, got it. We shouldn't be surprised. Makes it a lot easier, if you just understand that, makes it a lot easier to hold for the long haul. And then he said, "We had euphoria all Q1. Past month has been very painful. This will lead to euphoria again soon. In my opinion, even more euphoria than Q1, as this pain right now hurts more than fall 2023. More pain equals more euphoria." And so, great post. I agree with it. I agree with the sentiment. Yes, that is exactly how this works. Here's a post from Chart Analyst Cryptos talking about XRP. XRP bottom was 40 cents earlier this month. Now we move on. And he shared that this afternoon at 12:46 p.m. Central. So, as long as Bitcoin doesn't revisit that $52,000 level, because who knows what's going to happen to XRP if that happens. But I'm still going to be having a good time. Like, if you're worried, you can always come hang out here. Like, I'm going to be here, rain or shine. Like, I'm here consistently almost every single day for over half a decade. I've been running this channel. Almost every single day, rain or shine, I'm here because I'm having fun with this. Like, the bear markets, they're still fun. Bull market's way more fun for obvious reasons, but it's still a blasty blast. There's always fun stuff going on and stuff to talk about. So, is what it is. But, yeah, XRP, all things considered, not looking too bad here. Cryptos also wrote this in a separate post, XRP market cap weekly. And he shared this post just about an hour ago. Pink area, here, let me make this full screen, actually. He says the pink area is the most important support level. Potential pullback to lower green area tomorrow before bounce. Might look weak at the moment, but a green weekly close would keep us above pink area and blue diagonal. And then he noted in a separate post that in terms of United States dollars, what that would mean would be XRP at like 45 to 47 cents. So he's saying, watch for that. Here's another post from Cryptos talking about the XRP BTC chart, which I was referencing at the outset of the video, because there are multiple analysts tracking this, which they should be. Because this is a crucial thing to be looking at. Because, as you well know at this point, if you've been following my channel, because I talk about it constantly lately, I have been anyway, because it is that important. This is the moment. It doesn't mean literally today or tomorrow, next week or whatever, but when you have XRP priced this poorly against Bitcoin, it's only been this bad, like three, maybe exactly 3 other times in history, right around whatever. You get the point that I'm making. It's for each of the previous few market cycles, it just looks abysmal, but it does eventually find a low. And when it looks this abysmal, this is roughly speaking the moment before it just takes off, which is why, understandably, tons of analysts are having heavy focus on this. And at least to this point, I don't know if this is the final bottom. Again, I'm not going to pretend to know. It could be. But if it is, great, because it's looking pretty good to this point. Here's a Crypto Insight UK, another chart analyst, said XRP holding surprisingly well versus Bitcoin and ETH. And he shared that this morning. Here's a post from chart analyst Greg Crypto, also talking about XRP BTC pair. And he said, official bull run announcement. XRP BTC is key and XRP gaining traction. It's looking promising. XRP is gaining traction and showing positive signs. Keep an eye on this pair. Yeah, spot on. I agree with that. And again, it does... Even if this isn't the bottom for XRP against Bitcoin, my response to that is, so what? Throughout history, it always eventually finds a bottom. And lots of people guess that various moments were the bottom in previous market cycles, then they weren't, and it went lower, and then it went lower again, and then it went lower again, but eventually it found one. And look at this, as he's highlighted, you can see it on the screen here, going back to 2014, and then one in 2017, and then one in 2021, and now, wouldn't you know it, in 2024, looks very samey. Yep. And so here it is right now. This is the latest. This is a 1 month on the XRP BTC pair. So you can see from April 13th, up quite a bit from then. Here, I'll even show you the 1 day just for the fun of it. It's not at the peak over the last 24 hours. It's come down a little bit from the peak, but still been trending up over the last 24 hours as people have been losing their ever-loving minds today. So hopefully that is the bottom. I'd prefer that, but just because I'm ready to get the... Let's get things going. I prefer that. I'm very patient, but I still have a preference, you know? That's all. So that's pretty much it, folks. Like, I hope that you can if you're one of the people that's fearful, again, like I keep saying, you're normal, it's okay. But don't you think it would be better if you could overcome that mindset, if you're still in that mindset? Because you can do it. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect about it. Maybe you're mostly good with it, and then at some point there is another drop, and it's 9 months from now, who knows, and then it pops up. Well, that's why the repetition is useful. This isn't one of those things that you can just hear one time, and then oh yeah, I'm good now. I don't need to hear that sentence ever again. That's not how humans work. You need the repetition. You need that support, and that's why it's good to have this community here. Everything's fine. Honestly, everything's fine. The time to worry is if you hop on this channel and you see me freaking out, something is actually wrong then, because I have never done that. And when it comes to negative price action, I'm just like, yeah, well, whatever. Because that's what makes logical sense. And once you know it, my approach has worked for me now for over 6 years. I'm not surprised, are you? I'm not surprised. The market's been trending up. Don't you expect it? If you fast forward another 10 years from now, do you expect that the market cap for crypto is going to be way bigger than it is now, the same, or way lower? Like what do you think? I think there's about 100% chance it's way bigger. That's my belief anyway. So why worry? It doesn't matter. In the end, it doesn't matter. I enjoy tracking this stuff because I got skin in the game and it's fun. It's fun to follow this, but it doesn't actually matter. Either we are right in our general bet, and I think it can speak for everybody that's listening now, that we believe, right, crypto is going to be a way bigger asset class. And so either we're right and we get our life-changing wealth, or we're wrong and then we'll be a bunch of sad pandas. So either could happen, sure. What's most probable? I mean, if you understand the utility of crypto and why people genuinely value it, then it's easy to understand it is not going away. It just isn't. People value it too much. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because if anything I say are right, that would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.